Hi guys, I'm back with some eggplant manicotti. Let's just get started with the ingredients. We have some lean ground turkey, some baby spinach from Trader Joe's. We have 1 eggplant, some garlic, some marinara sauce, everyday seasoning, some red pepper flakes, some Pam coconut oil spray. Then we have this blend of Italian cheeses that we also got from Trader Joe's, and then a fat-free ricotta cheese from Trader Joe's as well. Some diced onions, 2 eggs, and yeah, I think that's it for our ingredients. So to get started, we're just going to cut the eggplant. We're going to cut the top off and then just cut it in thin slices because this is going to be like our pasta. So we don't need that end piece there. You can just save that for something else. So we're just cutting this in thin slices for what's going to be like our pasta. And we got about 10 pieces, and this was a pretty large eggplant. So once we have our eggplant all cut, we got our pan going on a medium heat, and we're just going to spray it with our coconut oil spray. It doesn't have a coconut flavor to me, but so once that's heated up, we're just going to put a little bit of our everyday seasoning on the eggplant, and we're just going to sear them for about 2 minutes on each side, and this will just soften them up so that they can bend without breaking when you roll them up for the dish. So we're just going to cook those for a few minutes on each side, and we're going to go ahead and do that with all of the eggplant. So I just wanted to show you here what it looks like when it's ready to flip. It kind of gets a little bit of color, and you can see it's a lot more pliable. And it has a little bit of color to it. And we're just using the coconut oil spray, so we weren't using a whole bunch of oil and adding a lot of calories to it, because we wanted to keep it somewhat low calorie and try and get as much protein as we could into it. So just continuing on with that process, and then once we're all done, we're just going to spray a little bit more into our pan, and we're going to cook some of those diced yellow onions. And we're going to add a little bit of the chopped garlic to that once the onions get a little tiny bit of color. You could use fresh chopped garlic, but this is just what we had, so you can see about 2 little spoonfuls of that. Then we're just going to cook that for a minute. And then we're going to add our ground turkey. And you could use ground beef, but I've been really loving ground turkey, and it's less calories, has a lot of protein, and we're just using half of the package of that. Because the fact that you're rolling it up and we're going to have filling with the cheese, you don't want too much filling in it, because it will just go to waste. So you can see we're just getting that cooked and getting a little color on that. We're adding a little bit of the everyday seasoning that has garlic and all those salt and pepper seasonings, and we're adding a little bit of crushed red pepper flakes to give it a little bit of a bite and some heat, but not too hot. So then we're just going to add our baby spinach. This will add a lot of vitamin C and some good vitamins for us, and it also tastes really good in Italian food. Garlic and spinach and eggplant go really well together. So we're just going to wilt that into our meat mixture. And then we're going to go ahead and turn our oven on 375 because we're going to actually bake these after we get them all assembled. So after the spinach wilts down a little bit, but it still has bright green color to it, we're just going to transfer that into a bowl and let it cool down a little bit before we add our cheese and egg mixture to it. So now we have our mixture and our eggplant, and we did add a little bit of sea salt to this. It just needed a little bit of salt, but that's up to your preference, and we added some pepper as well. So then we're going to go ahead and add in about a cup of this fat-free ricotta cheese once our mixture is cooled down a little bit. And we're just going to mix that all together. And then we're going to go ahead and add 2 eggs into this, whole eggs. Which that's just going to bind everything together, and also it's going to add more protein, which is awesome. So we're just going to mix this all together, and once this is mixed up, we are going to go ahead and roll our eggplant up. We are going to add some cheese to this as well. It's like an Italian cheese blend. You can get any kind that you like. I think it's just mozzarella, provolone, and some Parmesan. And we save a little bit of that to top them with before we bake. So we're just spraying a 9x13 pan right here and adding a little bit of that sauce on the bottom. And then we're going to start rolling out our eggplant manicotti. So you can see the eggplant have cooled down a little bit, and they're really easy to roll. We're just going to add about 2 ounces of filling into each one, which is like a large spoonful. And then we're just rolling those up and putting them right in the pan with the seam face down. And then we're just going to keep going until we've done all of our eggplant. And I highly recommend make sure that you season your eggplant really well and season your filling well, because that's what's going to add a lot of the flavor. You don't want it to be, the eggplant to be bland. That's when you're adding most of the flavor in here before it's baked, and then with the sauce as well. So you can see how super easy this is. We're almost done already, and it only took a few minutes. And it makes exactly 10 with about 2 ounces of filling for each one. And I'll post the recipe down below and the nutrients and all of that. Okay, so here we're just rolling up the last one. And then next we just have to add about a spoonful of sauce on top of each eggplant. And this is the traditional marinara sauce from Trader Joe's. We got this because it seemed to have less carbs and less sugar in it. Compared to some other spaghetti sauces that we've seen, or marinara sauces. But you could make your own. We just got this one because it already has basil and garlic and all the spices in it for us, so that was one less step. Okay, so once we have that all done, we're just going to top it with some more of that cheese, and you can put as much or as little as you want. So once all that cheese is on there, all you have to do is just pop this right into the oven, bake it for about, I think about 15 minutes until it's golden brown. Whenever, just check on it after about 10 or 15 minutes, and whenever it's golden brown and bubbly like this, you know it's cooked and ready. The top of the cheese should be browned, and you're just going to let it cool and go ahead and eat it. Hope you guys enjoy. Bye.